Hi Auntie Elsie, I've been meaning to do a wee video for you for a couple of weeks actually, and I finally got my head round it and I'm out in the garden and I think it's about 7:30. I wanted to start off with my white passion flower, which is lovely. It's not what I ordered something different, but it's a nice wee treat to discover that actually it's a white one, which isn't really quite so common. I'm really starting to notice that autumn is coming in. Well, a lot of things are looking a bit less fantastic than they did, but still, they're still going. So just going to, now these lilies are a species, and Speciosum rubra, I think. They've got lovely white and red flowers. They're the latest of my lilies to come up, mainly because I ordered them in the sale, and they arrived and were quite odd looking and a bit depressed. Threw them in a pot and look, we've got loads and loads of buds to come, so that's really nice. Banana at the back has been doing pretty good. They are supposed to stay over winter. They die back to a sort of a root at the bottom if it's very cold, but if you wrap them up with fleece or hay and then some plastic over that, you can keep the stem, which means next year it could grow up to about 7 or 8 feet. So I'm going to try my very best because I think that'd be a very nice thing to do. Moving on, so the lilies generally are pretty much over, I will be honest with you, and that's okay. They do their turn and they're absolutely fantastic, and I think they're worth any time or effort you really put into them. There's still a bit, but you can see they're not looking the best either now. That's kind of the last decent one, but it's certainly going over. What else is good? So I think I probably will have shown you these before, I'm not 100% sure. So that's a relative of the ginger, funnily enough, and I've got a few other relatives of the gingers as well. Luckily they're all very hardy, but they look, I sort of always think they look quite exotic, which as you know is what I look for in a garden plant. I'll just take you around here. So again, I think I probably spoke to you a bit about the false pineapple bulbs that grow, and they're really quite amazing. I bought 3 of the bulbs, I don't know, maybe about 6 years ago, and they're meant to be a little bit tender. They do look quite fancy, but they've been out in the garden the whole time. They freeze in their pots and then they always come back up, and they're wonderful, lovely things. I also decided this year to get something different, and so I got these ones, which are the same, basically just the same plant, but they've been bred to be a little bit smaller and not much prettier, but the colour's lovely. I really like it. So moving on, okay. Oh wait, no, this is another one which I found in, I think it was maybe Sainsbury's, with the 2 bulbs about 2 months ago, and I thought, well, do you know, let's just try it. And up they've both come, and the leaf colour's fantastic. I think they're more pinky when they flower as well, but you will see that when it happens. I purchased a couple of ferns. They're the hardy ones that are actually grown from the UK and Europe, and so I think it was £14 including postage for these large specimens, really, because they don't really get an awful lot bigger than that. However, it did say bare root, and very much bare root, so they've just arrived, so unboxed them, and I thought, well, let's soak them for a day or so and make sure the leaves are covered in water as well, and hopefully that will bring it all back to life, and then I can pot them up, because I'm really sort of getting into the idea of ferns now since I went up to Kirkland's house up near Carn and Steve up in Dunfermline, and he's got some marvellous ferns, and that just kind of made me think, oh, I want to know more and I want to grow more, which is me at my very best. So there's another one of false pineapples. I've had so many this year. I took all the bulbs out of the pot for the first time, and I had 3 really large ones, and I had loads of other ones that were kind of middle-sized, but they still come away into a full-size plant, so I'm very pleased, and I'm giving that to one of Keith's friends actually. I've been doing lots of propagating, and I like to try and share as much as I have, because a lot of people maybe just wouldn't think of growing the bulb. or they've never seen the plant, so it's nice to give one over if somebody comes to visit. My begonia, this is the great big one, the great big red flowers, got too heavy, fell over and broke completely off, but luckily it's come back with a vengeance, so I'm going to put some more stakes in it to stop it from happening again. This is an unusual one. I don't really know if I like it that much. The plant itself just looks, I don't know, I'm being fussy, but I think as the gardener that is my prerogative. This one has been, I didn't order what I got, but I'm so delighted I got this because it's a nice sort of compact shape, and then the blooms are, well, they're big, they're quite sort of maybe 6-7 inches across, and it's quite happy just being its blousy self, but I think it's a really lovely colour, and it's just a general nice shape, so I'll be keeping that one for next year. Got some other ones here. It's a nice yellow, sadly it's not double, which it was supposed to be, and then we've got some pinkier ones off to the side, so I'll be saving them as well because they're very nice. These cordial angel, I've seen them before in gardens, especially down your way, because you know the sea, it tends to grow a little bit better in terms of just a little bit warmer. It was funny because one of my volunteers, Valerie, she's a botanical artist and she's a real plants woman. She knows her stuff, and so we have great conversations and we give each other plants. So these guys, she'd been telling me about this. Her tree is 20 feet tall, and it flowers every year as well. They grow really well and quite quickly too, which is nice. So she said, do you want some cuttings? And I said, yes, that would be fantastic. And one day she came into the office with these in a bag, so I was quite surprised. They didn't have any roots on them, so I wasn't too sure they'd do anything, but the one on the right here, although I mean you can see it's definitely got a bit brown and has kind of suffered a bit from the move. I actually took it out of the pot, well, it fell out of the pot, and had a look, and actually it started to grow some nice thick roots. The one on the left isn't doing that yet, but who knows, and I really do like to just give things a bash, and maybe they'll come away, maybe they won't. They were for free, fingers crossed. Oh, here, now, this is a very special plant, and it's really rare, and I've had it for years and years, but it's never done much. But the flowers they're like wax. They're like wax actually. They sort of look and feel a bit like that. It's from Chile, as a lot of my favourite plants are, and you'll probably remember from past silly videos. But it's produced 5 buds and 3 flowers at the moment. I never expect much from it because it's really rare and it's really fiddly, but I'm really proud to say that it's doing well. It can also be grown just in the border. I'm going to split it actually in the spring. It likes to grow over old bits of tree, any old sort of stuff, and if it's a bit taller it can actually climb up over it, and I've seen some amazing specimens in different botanical gardens, and it's fascinating, frankly. It's really interesting to watch them grow in different ways. So here we go. So this is my pride and joy border with these are blue Himalayan poppies, and I've got some more around the other side as well. Sadly, my neighbour had hedge groomers, and it's fabulous, and they come round our side and do it, but they don't understand plants. They know about hedges and that's it. So they stood on that with their big feet and they've broken them all off. And there's another one there, actually a different type of blue poppy. Luckily they managed to miss that one. And round here, I don't know how they managed it, but they've got so many leaves down. I need to trim them all off anyway, which is a bit of a shame. It'll come away again though, but I was very upset when I saw it. This is another from the ginger family. I bought 3 little rooted bits because they were I don't know, £1.29 each, so we'll try it. It might take a few years, but they've come away fantastically, and did not expect any flowers this year, and it's already popping out more new growth from the base, and that's wonderful. I didn't expect, and it's hardy, so it'll stay out. It'll stay out all year. Here's another one of my fern purchases, which is a really unusual version of the ones that I've got in the water. Hardy as anything, really unusual looking thing though, and it'll do great just in there when I get it put in. I also have another one which you can't really see, but the new growths come up and they're practically bright red. It's a really lovely thing. It's not massively hardy, but I think it will be fine here. It's actually from Brazil, and it's like a Brazilian family member of this one, which is one of our own hardy ferns that come from the UK. So I popped it in there, and we'll see what happens, because it actually does turn into a little tiny tree fern, so it gets a bit of a stem eventually, and then all that growth on the top. So I'm interested to see. Sometimes you've just got to try things out. If it doesn't survive, well, it doesn't survive, and that's just the way it goes. Excuse me. So I'm moving on here. Oh, let's turn around here. So all my little Louisias have come back into bloom. They're funny because they do not like to be wet, but then if they're too dry, they don't do too well either. And they're very pretty things, and I've got quite a few of them. There's some there. And oh, I was going to show you these wee bulbs. I mean, you can't really see much, but they open up so beautifully when it's sunny. Just a really fancy wee South African thing, cheap as chips to buy as well. And yeah, my lily's starting to kind of go back now, but it's been just beautiful for the whole season. These guys are something new that I purchased about 6 or 7 months ago. They're variegated, and they're related to the onion, and they do actually smell a bit oniony, and they've got these really pretty flowers. Not very hardy, must be grown in clay pots. They're just not happy otherwise. So I've got 3 of those, got them for I think a couple of quid. So I'm going to try one. I've just tried them over winter and see how they go, but they've been really nice to look at anyway. This is Verbena bonarensis, and it can cope with anything. It's baked in the sun, lots of water, it just keeps going. And the nice thing about it is it'll get, I'm just going to work that out there, up to there very easily, but it never fills out a lot, so it's always kind of gentle and airy, but still producing lots of lovely colour. And the leaves are really nice as well, actually. So onto my red hot pokers, which, as you know, I have a big thing for. So this one is called Banana Popsicle, and it's really not massively tall, as you can see, but the flowers are just lovely. And you know, I don't know, I suppose I just find them really uplifting as well to see them coming out, and this one especially. And the colour is actually on here, it doesn't really show, but it's really, what's the best way to put it? I think it's almost like embers in a fire, which is great, and that's got lots more buds coming up. That's one of the other ones. I've got quite a few yellow ones actually, but I've got a lot more, as you can see, and they'll either flower next year or they'll start flowering in October, because you just never really know with them. But I quite like the idea of that. Just to swing back, the roses again, I have to say Keith was very judicious with deadheading, and because of that we've actually got these late flowers as well, so we're very lucky. And the same with the climbing one as well, that's starting to come away again as well. We'll not get lots and lots of flowers compared to the spring, but it's really nice to get that kind of late on season colour. So we'll have that for a good few weeks once they kick off. And there's some more of those pineapple bulbs. Again, you know, they just pop up and get on with it, which is great, because it looks like it's probably really hard to grow and to do anything with. You've seen lots of bits and bobs here. Everything's starting to grow well in the borders, not having been planted that long, and some fancy bits and bobs. So I'm very sure you saw this one the last time, and it's just such a lovely thing. And I think I showed you these guys last time, so they'll die right back to nothing and then come away again in the spring. And I think though the leaves will be a good bit bigger by then, and it's a nice thing because it gets kind of, I don't know, 2 foot tall, a couple of feet wide, so it'll just kind of come over the bed, which I think is lovely. Again, this is its relative, and it looks really odd and difficult, but it's easy as anything. I don't know why more people don't grow them, to be honest. And I put in a couple of new camellias as well. Keith really likes them, and so do I. So he had a hand in picking the ones that, sort of he thought best of and wanted in the garden, and that's great. Other bits and bobs here, nothing too interesting. Things going back into autumn mode as well, which is a bit, I don't know. And this, even though it's absolutely going over now, is a honeysuckle that is from the Mexican mountains, really high up, so somehow manages to live here, and I've had it for a good few years now. I think I'm one of 4 people or 3 people that grow it. At the moment it seems to have disappeared from cultivation, so I'm taking cuttings when I can, but it's a bit fussy about that. But I'll keep trying, because it's nice to pass things on for other people to have rare bits and bobs. This one is called Campsis radicans, and sadly the flowers are never their best in this kind of, looking for the right word, in this sort of temperature and exposure to the wind. But I did have to just shove it in and try it, and now after about 5 years it's starting to flower, which is great. And there's more buds up there as well, so I'm hoping that we get a bit more of a display, because all the leaves fall off in the winter and it's just a stick. So fingers crossed. This is like the one I showed you earlier, but it's all split, and they call it the variety octopus, which I can understand, and when it's in full bloom it's really unusual, and again really beautiful, so I'm always quite happy. Lots of kind of change, I guess, in the garden. Actually, they've been planting out lots of different things. These are South African, and they have lovely big pink flowers. Are pretty tough actually in the UK, and you can get lots of different varieties, and frankly I want them all, but we'll see. I'm hoping for some flowers in the next month or 2 actually, so fingers crossed. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't know, again, it's very exciting. Again, these lilies are past their best now. We had a tree, elderberry tree, taken out here because it just started to die, and it was a shame because it was a lovely thing, but couldn't get it to come back. So I had it taken out, and what I've put in its place is a buddleia. Now I don't like buddleias, but my dad had found this type, and it's called Buddleia globosa, and the flowers are kind of almost slightly bigger than a golf ball, and it's bright orange, and they're just these sort of spheres that once it grows up, especially, it will be fairly tall, and we'll be able to see all these orange flowers, which I'm quite excited about, and it's a good spot to have it in. So we'll see how that one gets on. This part, there's nothing really happening. Got a bunch of plants given to me, so that's an iris, I think, and that's got yellow flowers next year. And this euphorbia, it takes on such a lovely colour. It's really nice. It's been sat in its pot for about 3 months waiting to be planted, but it doesn't get, a lot of them kind of take over loads of space, but that one tends to be quite sort of clumpy as well, so I'm hoping we'll just get a bit more out of it, and not too much. My uncle Stuart from America was over visiting last weekend, and my cousin was an alcoholic, and when he died, we got this tree to sort of, I don't know, appreciate his memory, if you like. And it's a robin redbreast tree, and it's the new growth bright red, and it's beautiful. And so, but I had this made as well, and it's a wee bit broken now. So yeah, so being his dad, we planted that for him, and so whenever he comes over, comes out to the garden and just has a wee moment with the tree. I think it's really, he appreciates having something to remind us of Stuart, and also something living, and whenever he's over he can come and see it and just be reminded that he's still with us in some sort of way. But it's always, I don't know, I think it's a lovely thing. And here, because the hedge has been cut back, there's all this space again. So I've been having thoughts about what's going to be going in the background here. There's some nice bulbs that grow quite tall that I think would be good. This is Keith. He's just back from seeing Anna, his goddaughter, and say hello. And she just passed. She just passed her driving test, which is amazing because, like everybody, there you go and look. There's Oliver, looking his best. Oh,
Better than he was earlier. He got absolutely soaked in the rain earlier. We both did.
Well, that's. Even I'm afraid. Hi, my. Are you a good boy? Are you a very good boy? I don't know. I think he might be a good boy. Anyway, so oh yes, dahlias. So I think I maybe said previously, but Keith had quite liked the idea of the dahlias, so we ordered some in the sale, super cheap, dry, looking pretty grim. I didn't think they'd take, but actually those ones have. And with the dark foliage and these bright flowers, they're lovely, and they'll go on till probably October, early November before the frost gets them. But we'll keep them for next year because they really are quite lovely when you stand back and look at them. Now I think that's probably it for the moment, but I will make another one in probably another fortnight, 3 weeks, and we can see just how different things have gone. As I say, it's kind of obvious that things are starting to go over just a little bit, but I'm hoping if we get another week of semi-decent weather that we'll still get a lot out of them. So anyway, I should go just now because that's 21 minutes I've been rabbiting yet, and honestly I've not really been looking at what I'm filming, so it might just be a lot of me blethering and sort of, you randomly seeing things that are past their best. But anyway, take care, Elsie, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.